is this the kind of thing that people really, maybe the tech community, people aren't going to realize what this, the capability of this is until we really see it in action? It's really put, maybe even with Mobile Me, on a big stage where people are interacting with it every day.
Yeah, I think that will be a big impact once people start seeing it and start using it, and it kind of shifts. A lot of people look at mobile or web applications as being kind of clunky, and you think of webmail as opposed to your nice desktop mail. And webmail is getting progressively better. Microsoft has contributed to that. Google has contributed to that with Gmail, and Apple's existing .Mac mail is kind of nice. It has all the drag and drop. It works kind of like a desktop application. So as those things move forward and get more and more sophisticated, and you're able to do more and more with the desktop or with the web in a desktop-like way, then it's kind of interesting because the web becomes a real platform, and it becomes an open platform. So instead of being reliant on Adobe or Microsoft with their plugins, it's open to anyone who wants to contribute applications, and that really creates the kind of competition that moves things forward.
One other concept that you mentioned in your blog that I really wanted to expand a little bit more on is the idea that maybe even with Mobile Me, that there could be a iTunes App Store like kind of initiative where people could sell web apps or web services to people who are maybe using something like Mobile Me. Could you expand a little bit on how you think that might go?
Well, right now they call it service or software as a service. Basically, the idea of renting software. Everyone's been talking about this. Microsoft's been talking about it forever in terms of getting Office to the point where instead of having to roll out a huge version of it every 4 years or so, they're selling it as a subscription plan, and people just get updates all the time. There's a number of different applications that are kind of being vended over the web. I mean, Gmail is an example, but most of those are either free or supported by ads in some way. Nobody has really figured out how to charge people a significant amount of money to use these apps, in particular consumers. There's a couple of things like Salesforce that do basically sell services through the web. But for consumers, it's a pretty hard sell to say, go to a website and start paying a subscription fee to use some service, even if it's useful. And Apple has been kind of unique in being able to do that with .Mac. But a lot of people don't really see the value in those things because they say, oh, I can get a free email account, I can get free disk storage. There's a number of things I can get on the web elsewhere for free. So Apple is really bundling together some compelling apps and putting together push services and a number of other things that are making it more obvious what the value is there. And so once it's the fact that Apple already has a paying audience of, I believe it's a couple million people that have .Mac accounts, and rebranding that towards mobile users, the iPhone, calling it Mobile Me, will really open up a marketplace that will allow Apple to continually expand that. And it's my speculation, but it certainly looks like Apple has the ability and probably the interest in opening that up to third-party developers and allowing them to either create apps that Apple bundles into .Mac and makes the service more valuable, or even adds other applications on the side that you could optionally subscribe to. I suggested QuickBooks as being something that people could use. So that would be similar to what Apple's done in the mobile space, where it's kind of a similar situation that mobile software is such a hard thing to sell, to find the right audience, and all those problems are kind of being wrapped up with the App Store because you have access to the apps. They're easy to download, they're easy to update, and they're secured. And so being able to do a similar thing in the mobile app space, Apple has a great potential there.
So maybe a web app monetization for the rest of us, right?
Right.
All right. My guest has been Daniel Aaron Dilger from roughlydrafted.com. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Great. Thanks.